The Scrappy Echoes were trying to defend our immortality for the 6th week. We were trying to go into our 6th week as the Immortals inside of Diablo Immortal. To do this, we had 10 battles of 8-player fights, so a total of 80 Immortals defending against some of the strongest 80 Shadows, who in fact had a buff, which I later found out was a 32% attack buff and a 32% defense buff. These buffs grow larger and larger as the weeks go on for the Shadows, because eventually in time, it's meant for the Immortals to lose their reign. This is a great mechanic inside of the game because it allows more people to experience immortality. But the question is, will we be able to defend immortality, or will we go down and hand over immortality to another group of Shadows? Let's go find out. So what I want to do right now is take you guys through exactly what went down. This is one of the battles. There are 8 of us Immortals, and we are diving on in against 8 of our Shadow opponents. Goal here is what you would typically do in Battlegrounds. Now, all of us are on voice at this point in time, and we're strategizing, how do we want to get this done? Running into the battle and just trying to, at this point, you know, defend these guardians along the way, right? I will go ahead and tell you this. I have never felt so stuck as a barbarian. You're going to see me time and time again just completely get both stunned and smoked in these battles. I never thought that I would want to class change as much as I want to class change now. Now, obviously, I was outclassed here. My opponents were stronger than me. Remember, they did have the 32% buff and defense buff, which obviously gives them more power and gives them more of an advantage as well. Plus, as you could see from my Paragon, I'm Paragon 97 at this point in time. All of my teammates are 110 plus for the most part. So I am a little bit under-leveled. But that is no excuse. I come in here and I get a little bit smoked from time to time. So I'm realizing at this point that I'm not going to be able to be much help to my team. And look at this, getting taken down by Bape from behind. That's okay though, we will resurrect. All right, we have Format or Floor Mat running away. I'm like, this monk is weak. I'm gonna go take him down. Check this out. Boom, stun me, get me, just wrecked me. I just got wrecked. Wrecked by Floor Mat. Come on, man. We kind of fast forwarded through the battle right here because as time went on and on, this continuously happened. I just would go in, I'd get about 2 spins on my whirlwind and I would be taken down. Frustrating? 100%. This is extremely frustrating. Made me feel like I needed to be playing more of a ranged class so I could stay away, or a class that had a little bit more speed, because I was not running sprint on my Barbarian. Not sure that would have made much of a difference anyways. But now it's time to go hold down the center, and can we take this out? But no, we're not able to. So what happened here was, and you're going to get to see all of this, out of all 10 of our Immortal groups of 8, only I believe 1 of them was victorious, which means 9 of the Shadow groupings pulled in the victory, and we ended up with a defeat. But it wasn't over there, because there's more that goes on. Now check this out. Check out the attacks right here. We had, look at me, 0 kills, 9 deaths. Oh man, that felt so bad. It felt so bad. Can we scroll up a little bit though, Echo? Come on, I want to see a little bit more. Floor Mat 6-2, Bape 14-4, looking pretty strong. But this is it right here. We took a big beating, but it wasn't over. At this point in time, our Immortal still has the opportunity to defend immortality. That's right, Scrappy himself is going to be able to defend against 2 of the top Shadows from each of the 10 groupings, which means I believe there's going to be 20 Shadows fighting against Scrappy right here, and we all get to spectate this battle. It's like the Super Bowl of Diablo Immortal. It's pretty darn exciting, and you'll see in a second what this looks like. Now let's let this run so you could literally see all of it. You see the timer on the left. It says it begins in about 80 seconds. Scrappy is there. He is the last thing between us losing our immortality and the Shadows taking it over. Now what happens is, if Scrappy loses this battle, all of the Shadows will fight to find out who is going to be the new Immortal. And then Scrappy will have lost. We'll have to derobe our Immortal gear, and that will be handing it over. If Scrappy wins, we last another week and have to still continuously defend immortality for weeks to come. So this battle is going to be live momentarily, and we can see just how Scrappy does, holding up our hopes to maintain immortality. The battle begins in 2, 1, now. What do you do? You're gonna get to see all the cutscenes as well, because this is stuff that is not typically seen. It's not often seen inside of the game. So let's just watch it right now. Nemo is now the massive immortal, and it's time for him to do everything that he can. Remember that 32% attack buff and 32% defense buff? Those are still in effect right now. And so Nemo has to go against basically like superhero shadows, although he is a superhero immortal of himself. Now, the battle lasts for approximately 6 minutes. What the best strategy that we've found, at least in the past, was to try and win out that time, not get taken down in that amount of time allotted on the clock. But as you can see by the damage being taken by Scrappy right now, they're dropping so much damage on him. He's trying everything that he can to drop damage, get kills, but also just kind of evade the shadows that are incoming. He's going to get stronger with time, but at the same time, these shadows are not weak. First of all, they're strong by themselves because of how they grind the game. They are dedicated players because they made it to this level, and they were the top shadows from the battles earlier. And on top of that, they have the buff as well. So really, this is fighting for who is going to defend Sanctuary. Will it be one of these shadows, or will Nemo be able to defend the crown and we maintain our immortality? Only 5 minutes remain until we get to see. Or if Nemo goes down because he's down to 58% health, that may be the end of it after all. So what we were doing while this was going on, we're sitting inside of our Discord server. There must have been just 30 of us on voice watching Nemo, kind of rooting for him to do the win and to pull it in. Now remember, when you are an immortal inside Diablo Immortal or part of the Immortals faction, there is so much to do every single day. Defending the vault, your dailies, you have a whole bunch of other activities as well that if you are becoming an immortal, you will see. It is definitely the most tiresome thing between an adventurer, a shadow, and immortal. Being an immortal has the most responsibility. I mean, after all, you are an immortal inside of the server, defending Sanctuary. It's not easy. It's time consuming. You spend a lot of your nights doing things like Keon's Ordeal, and just a lot of time spent in the game because you're trying to maintain your immortality. So if we lose right here, and if Nemo does not defend our immortality, us immortals, having been 5-week immortals, are going to get a nice vacation. We're going to be able to be shadows, and it's going to be a little bit more casual for us until we try to retake our immortality back. If we maintain our immortality over the next few minutes, then we have to continuously grind, defend, and the next week's battle, there should be even a larger buff for the shadows, and it's going to be even more difficult for us to defend at that point in time, because essentially every single week the shadows get a bigger buff and they get stronger, and we have to win more battles to continue on. This week I believe we had to win 7 or 6 of them, and if we would have won this week, then next week we would have had to done 7 of them. So it gets more and more difficult each week, which I think is a great thing inside of the game, because you don't want one group of people to maintain immortality forever. You want to spread it out, let others be part of it, and just continuously change the cycle up and just keep the battles going on inside the game, or else it could get boring at some point in time, right? But Nemo has 8% health with 2.5 minutes left, and it looks like at this time, with 8 kills, that he is not going to be able to pull in this victory. These shadows were strong, and they fought hard. And 6% left. Nemo's doing all that he can just to try and stay away, but with the time left on the clock, it looks like that's going to be the end for him. Diving down to his 1%. He's pulled in 12 kills, 0% right there. Nemo goes down. Our immortality has been broken. We are no longer going to be the Immortals. Our 5-week reign is now going to turn. But who is going to be the next new Immortal? And that is what this next battle that we're about to witness determines. So what happens next? There's a 30-second timer up on the left-hand side. After 30 seconds, these shadows, they are going to fight for the Immortal spot. These shadows, the strongest ones inside of our server, are going to battle to see who is going to hold reign and be the new Immortal. Notice everyone is kind of batching up and getting together with people that they've made alliances with. I've mentioned before, this is a political game. People are going to try to protect one another. They have their strategies right now in case they ever made it to this point. Who's going to win? It's essentially a free-for-all. 20 versus 20 right now. Who is going to be the Immortal inside of the server? Shadows, out of 24, there are only 22 left. So that's how many were there were. There were 24 total. You'll notice that you're seeing some Immortals, some Shadows working together, and other ones just kind of like dipping out, hiding, trying to stay away. There are only 10 left out of the 24. And look at this, figuring out their strategy. Who's going to be the Immortals? What alliances were made inside of the game? Because remember, whoever becomes the Immortal clan, you get to invite a large number of other people to become Immortals with you. Alliances, you could say. You don't need, it doesn't take the top 300 strongest players in the server. It's the number one and then the alliance that they have built. So it's very political, and a lot of choice goes in the hand of the Immortal themselves, which is why a lot of people can get upset with whoever's running immortality. They have to be very fair, they have to be very just, and they have to just run a really solid, large group of people. There's a lot in hand when you are the Immortal. It's down to 7 right now. Look at them all working together to figure out who's going to hold this down. Look at those wings too, looking good. Now, if you notice, I'm kind of dragging. You can't follow one of the players. You have to actually drag around the screen to see where you are. So I'm dragging to the battle. You can see the red dots where the battle is happening. Nice above view. 7 and 24, and you're going to notice very soon some people will give themselves up and say the immortality is yours. Very interesting to see how this played out. I wish I was in their planning room to hear what they were going to say and how they were going to handle this. Now you notice Molly, she's standing right there, she or he, I don't know, standing right there just giving it up. Go take it, they say. Take the immortality. And someone else said, yo, this is it. This is it. It's coming down to them just giving it up, deciding who will be the Immortal. And it's not like everyone's just going free for all on each other. They are actually determining who the Immortal will be because plans have been set. So you are witnessing it. We have lost our immortality and we have given it up to the Shadows, and new Shadows, Dragonfire, will be in charge of immortality. Pretty cool animations right here as well. Once this was all over, we have about 6 hours before the server time resets. We are still the Immortals for another 6 hours after this, and then we lose our Immortal armor. We have it no longer, and these players will be running around with that Immortal armor. We will have to fight again for our reign. Our reign ends after 5 weeks. The reign of Scrappy has ended. Dragonfire of the Shadows, under the leadership of Freric, are the new Immortals. So Freric was the one that won that final battle. I wanted to take you guys through this experience because it's something that so many people don't get to see inside of Diablo Immortal, but now you have. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to be an Immortal inside of Diablo Immortal, or if you were happy being an adventurer or being a Shadow. We will be Immortals once again in the future, but right now we're going to enjoy being Shadows and poking these guys in the vault. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day, and be good.